Good morning, students. So today we are going to discuss about the cerebrum. So the practical things what we can identify on the cerebrum we are going to study now. So coming to the cerebrum, we are having two poles. One is anterior pole, posterior pole, and also we can identify inferior pole. So this anterior pole is called as frontal pole, and the posterior pole is called as the occipital pole, and here the inferior pole is called as temporal pole. So these are the three poles you remember. Then coming to the borders are, one is superior medial border. So as we all know that the right and left cerebral hemispheres, between the right and left cerebral hemispheres we can identify a fissure called as medial longitudinal fissure. So inside we can identify these two cerebral hemispheres. They joins with each other by the white matter, means the fibers of the neurons, they are joining with each other. So here you can identify a thickened structure called as corpus callosum, which is consisting of the commissural fibers. So through this commissural fibers, through this corpus callosum, right and left cerebral hemispheres, they joins with each other. Then coming to this other borders, first we have seen the superior medial border, and here you can identify inferior border. This is the inferior border, and here you can identify inferior medial border. This is the inferior medial border. So here is superior medial border, and below we can identify inferior medial border. And the surfaces are between the superior medial border and the inferior border. We can identify the surface called as superolateral surface. Then coming to this superior medial border and the inferior medial border, we can identify the medial surface that we can identify over here. This is the medial surface. So we are going to study the sulci and gyri. So what are the sulci and what are the gyri? If we just observe the superolateral surface of cerebrum and the medial surface of cerebrum, here you can see the medial surface of cerebrum and the inferior surface as well. Here you can identify the inferior surface. So the inferior surface which is present between inferior medial border and the inferior border. Okay, it is also called as inferior lateral border, and this is called as inferior medial border. Between these two borders, the surface is called as inferior surface. So this inferior surface, again, it is going to subdivide into two parts. Anteriorly we can identify the orbital surface, and posteriorly it is called as tentorial surface. Now we are going to discuss about the depressions and the projections. So the depressions are called as the sulci. Here you can identify so many depressions, they are called as sulci, and whereas the projections are called as the gyri. So what are the sulci, what are the gyri, we can identify. So first and foremost one is the limiting sulcus. Why it is called as limiting sulcus is, so the limiting sulcus which is separating the two areas, anterior and the posterior areas. So anteriorly we can identify the motor area, posteriorly we can identify the sensory area. So the limiting sulcus example for this is the central sulcus of Rolando. So the central sulcus of Rolando, which is commencement of this is, it is commencing at the superior medial surface. Okay, then it is extending and crossing the superior medial border and extends into the superolateral surface, and it is descending forwards, downwards, and laterally. So how can we say this is the central sulcus is? Only the sulcus which is commencing or starting at the medial surface, and upper end and the lower end, they are not deep, but the middle part is deep. Okay, so that is having the developmental illustration that we will discuss later. Okay, so to identify the central sulcus, try to identify the sulcus which is extending from the medial surface. and this central sulcus of Rolando extending from the medial surface and extends into the superolateral surface. So this is the example for the limiting sulcus. Then this central sulcus of Rolando extending downwards and reaches to another sulcus over here. This is a sulcus called as lateral sulcus or Sylvian fissure. Then coming to this, what are the sulci we can identify in front of this central sulcus, behind the central sulcus? So the main sulci are, one is central sulcus, then we can identify the lateral sulcus or the Sylvian fissure. So this lateral sulcus, which is having a stem, this is the stem of the lateral sulcus. Stem is present at the inferior surface. Inferior surface. In the anatomical structure, in the anatomical position, we can identify the stem of the lateral sulcus is present here at the inferior surface and is extending laterally, and then it extends into the superolateral surface and it is running backwards. Okay, so it is having a stem and it is having three rami. The three rami are, one we can identify anterior horizontal ramus, then anterior ascending ramus, then the posterior ramus. Remember, one stem and three rami, anterior horizontal, anterior ascending, and the posterior ramus. Then this between the anterior horizontal rami, in front of this anterior horizontal rami, that area is called as pars opercularis. Pars orbitalis. Pars orbitalis. Between the anterior horizontal and anterior ascending, we can identify a triangular area. This gyri name is pars triangularis. Pars triangularis. Then the posterior rami, which is extending back, and it is extending upwards. One part which is extending upwards and enters into the parietal lobe. Parietal lobe. Strictly speaking, inferior parietal lobule. Then, in front of the central sulcus, here we have seen the central sulcus. In front of the central sulcus, entire this lobe is the frontal lobe. So in this frontal lobe, what are the sulci we can identify are, we can identify another sulcus called as precentral sulcus. Precentral sulcus. Here is the central sulcus and this is the precentral sulcus. Between central and the precentral sulcus, the gyri is called as precentral gyrus. Precentral gyrus. Then other sulci and gyri which we can identify in the frontal lobe are superior frontal sulcus and then inferior frontal sulcus. Superior frontal and the inferior frontal. So the superior frontal and the inferior frontal sulci, they are dividing the frontal lobe into three gyri: superior frontal gyrus, middle frontal gyrus, and the inferior frontal gyrus. So far we have seen the anterior horizontal, anterior ascending rami. These two rami encroached into the inferior frontal gyrus, whereas the posterior rami encroached into inferior parietal lobule. Inferior parietal lobule or inferior parietal gyrus. So that is about the frontal lobe. Then coming to this, behind the central sulcus. Behind the central sulcus, we can identify parieto-occipital sulcus. Parieto-occipital sulcus. So between the central sulcus and the parieto-occipital sulcus, this lobe is called as parietal lobe. So in front of the central sulcus, that is called as frontal lobe. Behind the central sulcus and in front of the parieto-occipital sulcus, this lobe is called as the parietal lobe. Below the lateral sulcus or Sylvian fissure, this lobe is called as temporal lobe of the cerebrum. Then we can identify other structures which we can identify are, so behind the central sulcus, as I said earlier, entire this lobe is called as parietal lobe. So here we have seen the central sulcus. Behind the central sulcus, we can identify another sulcus parallel to that. This is called as post-central sulcus. Post-central sulcus. So between the central and the post-central sulcus, this gyrus is called as post-central gyrus. Post-central gyrus. And here we can identify another horizontal sulcus called as intraparietal sulcus. Intraparietal sulcus. So intraparietal sulcus is dividing the parietal lobe into superior parietal gyrus, inferior parietal gyrus. So far this posterior rami of lateral sulcus encroached into this inferior parietal lobule or inferior parietal gyrus. So that is about the parietal lobe. Okay. Then other structures what we can identify. Behind this parieto-occipital sulcus, here you can see a small part of this sulcus called as parieto-occipital sulcus. Behind that is occipital lobe. So how to identify that is at the level of parieto-occipital sulcus and then 5 centimeters anterior to the occipital pole, we can identify a notch called as preoccipital notch. If you draw an imaginary line by joining these two, behind that is called as occipital lobe. So far we have seen frontal lobe, parietal lobe and occipital lobe. Then coming to this temporal lobe we can identify two sulci. One is superior temporal, inferior temporal sulcus. And these two sulci are dividing into 3 gyri, superior temporal, middle temporal and the inferior temporal gyrus. So that is about the superolateral surface, sulci and the gyri. Then coming to this medial surface of the cerebrum, main structures which we can identify are, first we can identify the commissural fibers called as corpus callosum. Just above this corpus callosum we can identify a sulcus called as callosal sulcus. Above the callosal sulcus, 1 centimeter above, parallel to this corpus callosum, we can identify another sulcus called as cingulate sulcus. Then the cingulate sulcus, which is extending upwards and backwards, and then it is reaching to the superior medial border. And here, this posterior end of the cingulate sulcus, it is present in front of the central sulcus of Rolando. So that area is called as paracentral lobule. And then anterior to this paracentral lobule, entire this part is called as medial frontal gyrus. And behind this paracentral lobule, we can identify a quadrangular area. This quadrangular area is called as precuneus area. Let me explain you what is this precuneus area, why it is called as precuneus. So this quadrangular area, how to identify this quadrangular area is, posteriorly, as we have seen at the superolateral surface, we have seen parieto-occipital sulcus. Here you can see the parieto-occipital sulcus. Okay, then parieto-occipital sulcus, which is extending downwards and forwards, and behind that we can identify another sulcus called as calcarine sulcus. So this parieto-occipital sulcus and calcarine sulcus, between these two we can identify the projections. This area is called as cuneus area, triangular area. In front of this cuneus area, the quadrangular area is called as precuneus area. In front of the precuneus area, we can identify paracentral lobule. In front of the paracentral lobule, we can identify medial frontal gyrus. These are the structures which we can identify at the medial surface. Then, what about the cingulate gyrus? The cingulate gyrus, which is present between the callosal sulcus and the cingulate sulcus. This projection is called as cingulate gyrus. The cingulate gyrus, which is extending downwards, backwards and downwards, and it is joining or continuing as the parahippocampal gyrus. Okay, so between the parahippocampal gyrus and the cingulate gyrus, we can identify the junction part is called as the isthmus. Okay, so these things you remember in the superolateral surface and the medial surface. Rest of the things again I am going to discuss in the next class. Thank you.